Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Real quick, before we start, I just wanted to thank the FAME Lab for having us here today. We're really excited to be here. For most of us, 3 out of 4 of us, this is our first time in Greece, and we've had a really great time so far. So yeah, we're just really happy to be here. All right, so what we're going to be talking about today is a movement from specialist to generalist, CrossFit to marathon runners. So first question you probably have is, what is a specialist? What does it mean to be a specialist? So a specialist is someone that specifies in a particular training. So they have they're training for a specific reason. Right here, our examples are, we have a power lifter and a marathon runner. A power lifter is someone who is training specifically for strength. They are training to be really strong. They want to excel in a deadlift, a bench press, and a squat. So what they do is they do resistance training, and that's pretty much all they do. Marathon runner, on the other hand, is kind of the other end of the spectrum. They're training for endurance, and usually all they do is run. Marathon runners, they run probably, if you're an elite marathon runner, you're probably running upwards of 100 miles or more a week. So there are some good things about being a specialist. You're an expert in your field, or you're excelling to try and be an expert in your field, which means you know what to expect every time you go to train. You have a routine. You know what you're going to expect. You're ready to go. You specialize in that field, and there could be different motivations for that. For a lot of people, money, fame, etc. So that's why they train for that specific reason. However, there are cons to being, there's a downfall to being a specialist as well. Some of those, one of the big things is it's less transferable. So for a power lifter, they may be very good at being very strong. However, if you go ask them to go run a mile, it's not going to be so great. So their skills are not as transferable. So with that being transferable, there's little movement diversity. If you guys remember back from Dr. Carrillo and Steph's presentation about chaos to the body, they had a diagram. They had a specialist in this little circle and the big circle of the generalist. There's not much there in the specialist, but if you go into the generalist, there's so much that can go on. Now we can move into a generalist. A generalist is someone that embraces movement diversity. Someone that is forging this generalist approach to movement is Ido Portal. Ido Portal is from Israel, and he is coming up with this evolution of movement. He's trying to break away from the specialist approach to more of a movement approach, more to a generalist movement approach. Now, part of this step of becoming more of a generalist, one of these first steps that is into this evolution of generalist is CrossFit. So, what is CrossFit, you may ask? So, CrossFit is a combination of many components of fitness. It is a constantly varied workout that contains endurance, mobility, strength, agility, and power. With all these things, you can put into one workout. So you're not focusing on just like the power lifter, they focus on strength. Like the marathon runner, they focus on endurance. Now, CrossFit is combining all these things into one workout. And this creates more of a functional fitness. Remember that term, I'll come back to that in a little bit. So, to give you an idea what endurance is, a lot of people, they think endurance, oh, the marathon runner, I'm going to go out and run 10 miles today. Well, CrossFit's kind of changing that. You do have running, but you also have swimming, rowing, and biking. So there's so many different things that endurance can mean. But then you have mobility. So now you put mobility into the gist of this. And mobility can mean Olympic lifting, gymnastics works, gymnastic work. Like this person is doing a ring muscle up right now, and then this person is doing a handstand walk. So for the handstand walk, you have to have the shoulder mobility to be able to have your arms over your head and carry your body weight at the same time. So you need a lot of mobility. And then for the snatch, you have to have your arms over your head in a squat. May sound kind of easy, but once you try and do it, it's not quite easy. So mobility plays a key role here. Strength. Again, you have your endurance, you have your mobility, now let's add some strength. You have things, and as you can see, these are pretty functional things when you think about it. You have pull-ups. This guy here has sandbags in a wheelbarrow, and he has to take them across a field as fast as possible. Then you have these people here. This is definitely something you don't see every day. These people are lunging across a field with this huge sandbag across their shoulders. And then these people here, this is called a buddy carry. You have someone on your shoulders and you have to walk with them. Now, agility. So now also throw some agility in there. This man here, he's doing sprints, but with lateral movement, so he's got to change directions quickly. You have these people here doing box jumps. This person here, jump roping. And then here, burpees. Now power. So now the power lifter comes here. You have deadlifts, squats, and some prowler pushes, which is just, you're just pushing a lot of weight. You're running, maybe just walking, moving a lot of weight. So what are the benefits to CrossFit? Functional fitness. Remember how I told you about functional fitness? You saw those pictures. Now this kind of gave you some ideas of functional fitness. What functional fitness is fitness style that will contribute to day-to-day life. So like you saw, let's go, that man that was carrying the wheelbarrow. That's something you do every day, or not maybe every day, but that's something you can do day to day. There's a lot of people that do have to put whatever in their wheelbarrow and take it. That's something that's functional. But the reason CrossFit was even created in the first place was for military, police, and firefighters. It was created to help these people excel at their jobs. And one of the reasons that CrossFit does so well is because there's a support system. When you walk into a CrossFit gym, there's so many people there. It's a community. It really is a true community rather than walking into just a random gym and someone's on the treadmill, someone's just at the bicep curl machine. It becomes a community and it becomes a class, and you're able to cheer each other on. That's why CrossFit really excels a lot. And also, when you walk into the gym every day, every workout is different. As you saw, there are so many different things going on at once. It keeps you from plateauing. There's so much chaos going on, it keeps you from plateauing. And this is where I will transfer to Asia.
Okay, so a part of being a student at Chatham University, we have to have tutorial research projects to graduate. So one of my presentation was on the aerobic capacity of CrossFit athletes. And there's little research conducted on CrossFit. There's only one study that I found when I was researching. So this study is from Ohio State University, and this was a 10-week study that involved CrossFit athletes that were in their beginning stages and very experienced athletes. They looked at their markers such as body fat composition and VO2 max tests. So this chart right here shows the results of pre and post of their VO2 max tests. So at the end of the study, they saw that their subjects had an increased VO2 max. And so with the study that I am a part of, we collaborated with the University of Pittsburgh, and the purpose of the study was to assess the effects of a 12-week CrossFit training program on health and performance in experienced CrossFit athletes. And when I say experienced, I mean people that have been doing CrossFit for a year or more. So these are some subject characteristics of the people that finished the study so far. The study is 12 weeks long, and these are the post and pre markers that we got. And there's been 8 subjects that have finished so far. So some markers that we have focused on at Chatham was strength, cardiovascular endurance, and flexibility. And University of Pittsburgh, they focus more on the power, the body composition, and the stability. So I'm just going to explain some of these 3 markers right here. So pretty much we looked at the strict press. This is pretty much what you'll do being a part of the CrossFit community. And this is how you could do a strict press properly. We also looked at the deadlift and the back squat. So these are some results that I collected with all 8 subjects during the 12-week intervention. This is their VO2 max results, pre and post. There wasn't much change in the 8 experienced CrossFit athletes. Let's see. So for the baseline VO2 max test, it was 42.45, and for the finishing results, it was 42.40. So there was no change there. And these are the VO2 max results of the 3 males that were in the 12-week intervention. Still no change. So at the beginning of the study, the males, the mean for their VO2 max test was 46.70. For the post-test results, it was 47.76. And for the females, we had 5 females in the study that finished so far. Their VO2 max test didn't change much at all. Here are their results. For the females, the pre-testing was 42.3, and they finished with 44.0 as their VO2 max test. So these are some, this figure represents the back squats that we looked at. It represents the 1 RM repetition, so pretty much the heaviest you can go with a back squat. The white represents the pre, and the blue represents the post. And as you can see, they did increase in their strength with the back squat. And this is for the male and female subjects. This figure is for the strict press for both female and male subjects. And there was not much of an increase with this one, but it was pretty expected, in my opinion. And this one is the baseline and the post testing for male and female for the deadlifts. So this one, they increased by quite a bit with their strength during the 12-week process. Okay. And this one, we one of the markers we looked at was their flexibility. So we asked each one of our subjects to do a sit and reach test. And within a 12-week study, there wasn't any change with that either. So pretty much data collection is still in process. We want to recruit 30 participants and have them finish the study. There was no change in maximum oxygen consumption due to the athletes that we recruited were already very fit individuals already. And their muscular strength increased in the back squat and in the deadlift. And there was no change in their flexibility. So these are some common injuries that come with being a CrossFit athlete. So I feel like these pictures represent how, yes, CrossFit is very diverse, but of course with a lot of repetition, you can get injured, especially if there's overtraining involved. And so these are some of the common injuries. So yes, CrossFit is very diverse, but it's not like the epitome of all exercise. It comes with some injury. And a part of the study, once a week, we went the University of Pittsburgh our subjects to submit an injury report within the so once a week they will submit an injury report to see if they're all right or if they have any injuries within the 3 days a week that they're supposed to go to a CrossFit affiliate and work out.
So going back to that specific to generalist approach, where is this headed? Like I said before, CrossFit is only a step to Ido Portal's epitome of moving to a more generalist approach to exercise and movement. So in my research, I found this gym. It is called Boulder Movement Collective. This gym is in Colorado. It's based out of Boulder, Colorado, and what they focus on is movement. They focus, they do a lot of different things. So like, as you can see here, I don't know how clear it is to you guys out there, but this man here, he's doing some body weight movements that looks pretty extreme. And then over here you have someone walking on a pipe to work on balance. These are pretty interesting different things that people don't usually do in a normal gym. So they're trying to focus more on specific movements. They also do some Olympic lifting and some strength work and different mobility things, but they're working more towards movement, specific movements. Another gym that I found, I actually came across this on Facebook randomly, and I thought it was quite interesting, so I wanted to share it with everybody. Prama 3.0. It is technology out of the UK that, as you can see, it's kind of like an arcade. That's how they actually described it in an interview with one of the gym owners. What's supposed to happen is the technology is with lights and sounds and then lights on the floor to show you where you need to move. It's supposed to kind of let you forget about what you're doing. It's supposed to make you focus on the next movement, but in an interesting way where you're focusing more on eye-hand coordination and rather than working hard. Like you're working hard, but it's bringing in this different mental aspect. And then to kind of finish up here, we have, there's some professional athletes that are trying to go with this functional fitness approach. They're trying to diversify their exercises. So just a couple examples. Jake Arrieta, he's a professional baseball player, and he, along with his strength and conditioning work that he does as a baseball player, he also does Pilates to try and because Pilates is core strengthening, mobility work, and balance work. And in return, he's one of the best pitchers in the Major League Baseball League. And then Conor McGregor, he is a UFC fighter, so he's a professional fighter in the US, and he does yoga. So, and on top of his fighting regiment, he also, and strength work, he does yoga in his spare time to work on, he wants to focus on knowing where his body is, spatial awareness. And that is our conclusion of our presentation.